Chapter 4. They drove to the Augustine in a hired luxury sedan with leather seats and a polite professional driver named Dan. Dan and Sully had clearly known each other for a while, and they chatted sports on the way. Well, when Sully wasn't grumbling about the cat. Nate felt a little weird being chauffeured, but set it aside, determined to get into character. He wasn't used to wearing suits or going to art auctions, and he had to pass as someone who did, though he thought he'd do okay. He was an even-featured white guy in a good suit, so more than half the battle was already won, and God knew he'd spent enough time observing wealthy privilege in action. When the Augustine's glowing windows came into view, Sully added his own reminder. These people can tell a fake when they see one. You have to believe the lie you're selling. You belong here. You're one of them. Nate was busy unwrapping the bubble yum he'd pulled out of his pants pocket. He popped 2 cubes of the pink sweet gum into his mouth and started chewing. Or you can go with the bubblicious, Sully said, disbelief and disgust warring across his face. Jesus. Bubble yum, Nate corrected. And I'm cool. Sully didn't look reassured, but let it drop. He pulled a slim case out of his jacket and opened it. Here, he said, handing Nate what looked like a tiny pale kidney bean. Put this in your ear. An earpiece? Walkie-talkie? How very James Bondy. Use it sparingly, Sully added. Nate fitted it into his right ear. You saying I talk too much? Sully pulled a face but didn't answer. He took out his money clip, unfolding a couple of large bills to hand up to the driver. They had arrived across the street from the Augustine, where well-dressed men and women were piling out of their own expensive cars and filing through the front doors. All the men in suits and ties, the women in fashionable evening wear and heels. Valets buzzed back and forth, opening car doors and handing out tickets. Keep it parked on 21st, Dan. Across from the south entrance, Sully said, and Dan nodded, sliding the bills into his breast pocket. They got out of the car and started for the front as the sedan pulled away, ducking past a speeding taxi. When they reached the walk, the excited chatter of the arriving bidders filled Nate's ears. Nate carried his head high and tried to keep himself nice and focused on what was ahead.